How you doing, boy?
That's some television.
Oh, jeez, that's an armour.
Fucking
Fucking up a bunch of men slap for a tape after the old land then gets scratched.
The jury woke
Lily, all that man gets spread and up a bunch of men slap for
Don't
tape.
hear that talk.
Oh, see you in the drink.
Ah,
Well, how you get on?
You're alright. Well, a bit still, man.
Mine's sore too, and I started to use them buddies. And but here's my toenail.
I
my
done
big
10 mile,
toenail.
I done 10 mile this morning running.
You didn't, you fuck?
Did?
What is that armour reserver?
What?
Where? Well, that paper he has.
Like
you want-
camera.
Oh, next armour.
Well,
Here, read
here.
it.
We in the mountain house or what?
there's a good sup up there.
Put plenty in the jar.
And plenty of big bottle of potch, and we forgot to take it with us, but.
I must give it to you tomorrow.
Something right.
It's Clove Rock patching. Did you ever drink it?
GCV.
Fucking
Well, I'm
lovely.
sure it did. Nice taste of it.
It's the last
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
Tell him the one about the race scene and going off the drink. Fuck it.
Oh, she knew that.
What?
Ratting of them here, that.
What? Jarlath never here. Jarlath was a good one for you now to tell.
That's the one. If I remember the one I told you up in the field.
I never could find it. That was the best.
Race said he was going off the drink.
Johnny Race went off the drink for a while. And him and Jack Deacon and Jerry Deacon
Oh,
drunk
I know
the jar,
that.
an uncle of his.
Oh,
And they
you
drunk the
sure?
jar and Jack got great, or
Oh,
Johnny
you
got
did.
greedy.
Oh, no,
So we
just
quit
off
the
the
drink.
rake, yes.
Yes, you're not going to get over that.
And he had
Keep that.
after it be,
Couple
he
of
had
weeks.
after drink about 3 weeks. you see.
My breast's not as
And
bad
we were
as it
talking
was.
this
No,
day and
that's
they
good.
wanted trying to get Johnny to go for drink. Oh no, I'm not
No,
bad.
they
He said, I
don't
think
do
I took the
anything.
pledge.
Of sorts.
So that's
so.
all right.
Don't
But
do
the next
anything.
thing Jack Jar or
If I done
Pat
anything,
Jarvis
you know,
sister,
put on me in the morning,
was a
so
poor
I'd
dog hospital
take
motor.
breakfast, but then it'd be alright again.
So the next thing was then Rice was back in the drink.
Ah.
And on Marky's this night and they were full.
And you wore your
And
bra.
Deacon and Jarvie slipped out and one went up the road and one went down with black dark. And rattled their feet and Rice couldn't see them.
Yeah.
And Rice would shout down here, down there Jack! And Deacon would rattle his feet. And then they'd stop. And then he'd shout, you up there Pat! Pat would rattle his feet. And he was sick, he didn't know where to go. And the next thing they could hear him saying, well there'll be no muscle going Rice.
Sorry.
There were no muscle going Rice.
There you are.
Jesus Christ, Johnny Rice.
He's walking or just
But Jarlath was a good one to tell you about the monkey. He didn't tell you nothing, did he?
I think I told him that up in the field.
Well, tell him it again.
That wasn't the day we were sitting in the van.
No.
Ah,
What's this monkey?
Jenny,
this boy was going to Dublin with a load of monkeys on the
not doing
road.
muscles.
I don't know many
Right
monkeys.
on.
Turn that down a bit.
Turn that tally down.
I'm not watching that.
You haven't-
No, turn up the fuck.
Well,
This boy was going to Dublin and he had these monkeys on the road. He had 10 or 12 monkeys to lay. He'd lay them in Dublin Zoo, you see.
right.
And but just didn't he back down on the Ashbourne Road.
Ah.
And he was out and he was in under the lorry and he was hooking on and everything. But he couldn't get her going. So he he got out of the road and he wagged down different mukes and nobody would stop for him. But this lorry pulled up. And he tell you man, he says, he looked at his watch and he says it's 12:30 or whatever time it was. He says, I have 10 monkeys there. He says, I have to have them in Dublin Zoo before 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
He says, could you do anything for me? But Jesus, he says, if you put them in the lorry for me, he says, I'll take them to the zoo for you.
Right.
And just he put the monkeys in the lorry and all and away your man went with them. And by that time then, when he was away, didn't your man's mechanic come along
Oh,
Yeah.
and got the lorry going for him.
Ah.
And your man landed at the zoo. And when everybody landed at the gate, he was tired of the boy at the gate. He says, don't tell me this. He says, was there a man here? He says, my monkey's on a lorry. Did he take, was there a man here to take, left monkeys here at the zoo?
Ah.
He says he was here and he's away with them again. Holy fuck, he says. He says he's away with them. And he says, where is he? He says he's away in towards Dublin with them. Jeez, the man went into Dublin by, and he heard he's coming down. And fuck, didn't he hear him coming walking down O'Connell Street with these monkeys? And he run over and asked him, where was he going? He says, I thought I'd tell you to take them to the zoo. He says, I had them at the zoo and I'm taking them to the picture house now.
Well, I could tell nothing put in the room.
He says, I had them at the, he says, I had them at the zoo and I'm taking them to the pictures now. What happened with this? I was down with them all night. Hey, we're down at the Mara. The black the shoe horses, you know.
Right.
Or they're great men at the job. Walkers, you call them, and the big graves too. They don't praise these graves.
Right.
Yeah.
You did.
No, they did.
All right.
He was telling us that why did you ever watch people waltzing on the floor? Did you waltz, no?
I did,
Well, you see, they all go around that way. Did you ever notice that? I did. Yeah. Why?
I never know why.
There you are. Did you answer that one? Why they went away around that way?
You
And
never
they
went
all-
left.
And they all turned away like that there in the corner and all.
I never went the other way.
Never went the other way. Why was that?
I don't know.
Well, you see, years ago, whenever somebody got a wooden leg on, they were screwed on, and if they went that way, you see,
The leg would come off.
The leg would come off. And they got into that habit that time, you see.
And they had to come round this
Oh,
way.
there was legs left the middle of a few years ago. It was a whole
They had to keep going with the taping in the thread.
yeah. Keep going.
It's that phone now, is it?
But here's John. But yes, I'd love to know that, John, you told us up at
Tipping him.
Fuck, it was the best ever I hear.
I know.
Sitting in the back of the
I know
car.
that we were taking our tea.
I can't remember now.
Fuck, I thought mine it'll come up
I
sometime.
hope so.
It wasn't about the rat and the weasel.
No.
No, sure, I was on the wireless with that.
He's on the
I was on with
He
the
was on.
I was on with Nolan.
Nolan, he told Nolan.
Oh, fuck, laying in bed one morning and I couldn't get out. And our radio was just there laying by a line over journey from where. Look at I hear this going on this by in this wee Belfast man. And he says there's a rat, he says he comes, he has a hole in my back door, he says, and he's coming into the back kitchen door. And he says I was over to the housing executive. And he says they haven't done a whole lot about it. And then he says my next door neighbour, hold on till he get talking to him, and he put him on the rat. He had a rat into it, but he was on into the cupboard.
You got a good photo.
And then there was some other woman, and she had a fucking rat in somewhere else. I don't know who a rat was. Yes, I rung in. There's it there. I have it live here on the bar. And I rung in, and this woman come on to me. She says, "Whatever do you know about rats?" I says, "Whenever I was a child, it's like there's 12 of us in our house here. That's the manager's house. 8 girls and 4 boys. And say, my dad used to say, he would hear the hen cackling. He knew you was off the hen. And he'd say, "There's run over there and get an egg before the rat's taken." You know. And night we would run over. But one time he took us over, you see, to see the rat taken. And let us know.
And the rat did take it.
Oh, fuck, a rat can take an egg. The best you ever seen. But anyhow, your woman says to me, "Did you ever see the rat?" I knew she was going to ask me. So she says to me, "Did you ever see the rat taking the egg?" I says, "I did." But I says a rat can't take it on his own. It takes 2 rats. One rat goes in and he takes the egg out of that, like that, out of the box.
Yes.
And he puts it in his chest. And he rolls over on his back. And the other boy catches him by the tail and tows him out through the door. And then they get... That's right.
This is all tale on the radio.
And then I says he rolls over and he lets the egg off on the ground.
Yeah.
And then the 2 rats comes over like that and gets their 2 noses again the egg. And they stand right up on their hind legs like that. And they let it go.
And the leg breaks.
The eggs crack. And then they stop it egg.
I thought they were going to put it in the pan.
You're on wrong there. And you're on there. Anyhow, I tell this to this woman.
Oh, what to say?
This was before Nolan.
Was the elephant?
Never said a word, you see. And she says that's all right. You see, they say to you see what sort of a boy you are. Must have checked you out. But just about 5 minutes later, my phone rang. And this boy called Sean Coyne came on. And he says, "Hello there." He says, "Are you Jarlath?" I says, "That's right." He says, "That's some story you told that woman." I don't know what you call her, Elizabeth or Lizzie or something. What's her name? I don't know what her fucking name was. He says, that was some story. He says, "You told her about the rat." He says, "Will you go live over the show?" He says, "But Nolan." And fuck, I did, for a second, I give her a wee second of a hesitation. And I says, "Go ahead, let her at it." So anyhow, he was talking to some other boy. I could hear them on the wireless next door. And he says, "We're going outside, you're here now to have on. It's going to tell us a story about rats taking eggs." And Jesse got on to me. He couldn't get my name right at the start, but he got it then. Eventually, you know, it's a bit awkward.
2 nuns killed on outside Newry today.
That's
Yeah,
right.
police run into them.
Anyone who's at fault?
No,
They crossed the road.
The police must have come and flying, you see.
Yeah.
They turned
They
in.
never stopped at the cross at the dual charge where they crossed from one dual charge.
Yeah, over there. They were heading to Drummondine.
Yeah.
They must have crossed over there and our country was coming flying.
So Nolan had on to me anyhow, he come on and I tell him about the rocks taking the eggs and all. And he says to me, are you caught me there? I says, I don't call big fat men. And fucking I went over to the foresters that night and the boys had it on the, you know, the lad.
Yes.
The tape recorder, you know, the internet, you can hang it on it.
Yeah.
You can still get it on it, they can play it on.
What did Nolan say when you said that who called
I
big
said, he
fat?
always had a big fat hero like him. And, but just I put the phone down, boy. And the first phone call I got was from Mullyard, a man in Murdochsnory. That me bring me back up here.
Yes.
Heard me.
Yes.
And then a boy phoned me from Bialy Castle, I used to do all the arms for him. And he rung me. I just got to hit my phone calls. But then I rung in one other morning. Remember they were telling one another over the, remember they put a green line down for the bicycles?
Right.
Remember that?
Yes.
Through the green footpath for the bicycles.
Yes,
Riding
yes.
bicycles. And the unionists were stiving off about this fucking green line for bicycles. They said Ballymena was going to get too green.
Yeah, we all basically.
And I rung in by it and he says to me, what do you want to know about the bicycles? So I says, well, no matter what colour the road was, you'll still have the paddler. That put an end to the whole show.
What Nolan said? Laugh.
They couldn't fight.
He didn't know he was happy kid when he got you.
Just getting about the monkeys.
Out the monkey. I'm taking the picture.
That's a terrible, you can't remember that one.
Fucking was far back. Yeah, it's a long time ago, Jarl.
And that was it since we were
It's
in
not bad. Something wrong. You can't remember.
Railway.
Fucking right, boy. It must be 10 years, is it?
See this small
No, it's not.
No, it wouldn't
could
be. No, it wouldn't. No, it wasn't 10
More.
years. No.
It must be bad when you can't remember. For you can mind 70 years ago.
You
There
mean
was a
too
man
much.
asked a woman, a boy one time in their school, he says, the whole class, all our whole class, asked who could mind the longest. And that's everybody had different things. The first day going to school and mommy leaving you at the gate and screeching about the master taking you in. Somebody else could remember coming home from school, yeah, them wee white flowers and taking them home to mama. And somebody else could remember something else. I don't know many things to remember, but there's a big fella at the back of our class, you know what he done? He put his hand up and he was waving it at the master over rape times. And the master says to him, I know the well. He says, what can you remember? He says, I remember Mommy and Daddy getting married. That was it.
You're here. I made one time out of a war fight from Blake. Was down and I was standing there and he laughed. He said, Jesus, Eddie, you have a shocking memory. I never heard the like of that. But yes, I know a boy has a better memory. A better memory than mine. He says, who's that? Say it's our Patsy. How does he make that out? When I says he can remember 2 years before he was born.
Not too many remember that.
There's not too many.
Not too many to mind the man.
Man, I get married.
No, when they get it by and the master stopped asking questions.
Oh, they can now.
God knows what is going to come out next.
It was time to stop.
Things are all in.
He had a question. What about the wee pub down here? Does it never open now?
No.
You're handling it.
It doesn't even open at night sometimes.
Is that right? Well, it used to be open at the weekends and
Oh, it
music
was
and...
Saturday evening.
Open every day
What's
and
here?
every night. Every
It's
night.
not get into Tommy's from down the road.
They weren't asked
I
to
think
go.
that's like must be done.
What are you worried about it for? You're not cooking.
Nobody
Well,
asked me.
I
Manners
just want
lit,
us to
yeah.
do down in case there's a phone on them.
Oh, jeez, I am not. I'm too good.
What, for football?
Do you remember the last day we were over your man Jim Jerry in the wee bug?
There were many in the mountain house today now, would there?
Judy give Geraldine a mug that
Well,
night.
there's nobody in the pubs in the middle of the day.
Oh,
Nothing, nobody in the pubs now.
But he was only doing that.
It's good cracking now.
guitar.
I had a fella that one day, he reckons he played music. Possibly he played music in it years ago.
Where?
Over there.
In Lorne.
He's a great man into the music, this fella,
Right.
beside me.
I mean, that boy down for about Pike's Pass or there's someone played the accordion. What do you call him?
I know who you're talking about, all right. Pints past, man.
Can you mind his
I
name?
think
He's a good pint over there, that man.
How many longest times is alright?
I think that man's dead.
What do you call him?
Oh, fuck, he played in the bar.
I know that. Big tall man.
Can't mind.
He wouldn't make a wife.
No.
There was two brothers lived down the road from us. They were retired for like money, nothing, only money all their life, like.
Yeah.
And bought a heap of ground. They never married or nothing. One morning they were at mass and they heard the priest talking like people should do their affairs, like buy a bit of ground for getting buried. And to see, like have it done like before if you died. But they were well known for buying land. They bought land all over the country and farms here and farms there and dealing the sort of. So then they made an appointment to go to see the priest to buy this
bit of ground for burying.
For burying and the land and any, and the priest got it down the graveyard with this wee mop.
Yeah.
And he was showing it, he was through out.
This square.
But there was 3 pieces to, you see.
3 graves.
3 graves all in the one area. And they said to him, they would buy how much was it for, it was sort of £50 a plot.
Yeah.
150.
150 for the 3 plots, you see. So they said to him, the priest, about, said they'd buy the 2 plots.
Buy 2.
But he says, yes, she'll throw the other in, he says, for the same price. He says, what do you want the other part for? He says, sure, it's hard to put 3 pieces together. You know what I mean, like? He says, what are you going to leave that out on its own for? Throw the other in a little bit beside us, you see. He says, sure, there'll be nobody in it, not bother, he says.
He wanted it for nothing.
He wanted that for nothing, man. He says, what is what happened? See, the greed was baiting them.
He wanted it all.
Wanted it all back. They wanted nobody to go into the other hole.
That's what they'd buy done with it. He was buying land every Saturday and the wife says to him, where were you today? I said, he always said that, that's the way I had to buy wee farmers laying into me. So she says you're running the country buying farms that's laying into you, and only the 2 of us here, and if we're died in the morning, you know where to bury us. When he said, I'll go to the priest when he gets me down. So they nearly headed after the priest and went out into the graveyard and walked away on over to the end of it. Showed him this plot, 2 plot. But there's a wee bit of a tail end on it too, over to a ditch. So we looked at it and the priest says, well, what do you think of that? He says, that's dead on. That looks all right. 2 plots there. And what about that wee bit there? Actually, the priest says, I'm no good to know it. There's only a wee just a little bit. He says, I'll take it, you're laying into me.
All them boys was the same.
The greed, the fucking devil
The
of
greed
them.
was on the country.
You ever see John Mackin?
John's driving very busy.
I had John in here Sunday.
Jeez, he's a great man for his age.
He's going
Just
to
he
soon,
done, huh?
he's going to soon retire.
Is he?
So he says.
He must have done the CPC, yes, ticket. No.
Eh?
That old ticket you have to do now.
I mean, sure, John's 70 and over.
I wanted to let him drive at that age, and then big noise.
Oh, geez, you get drive away. Sure, you'd be happy.
As long as he's fit to do it.
Sure, you must know that continent inside out.
But he must have good eyesight.
Oh, dear.
That'll be the first thing to
He
check.
doesn't wear glasses, or that?
That's the first thing to check, will be the eyesight.
Oh, you're all right that way.
He's a quite fit man compared to Mick.
That,
Well, mixed but
Mick's not for the walk.
that black bush would leave any money could see anything.
He can drink
And
black
Mick's a good
bush.
bit younger.
See things that weren't there.
Mick could be younger. What?
You can see things that weren't there.
You can drink a glass of black bush and a bottle of
You
McCarthy's.
drink black bush and
Bought glasses.
glasses of Smithwick's from 7 o'clock at night to 5 o'clock in the morning, and you go home and say, Lily, put on a pound of steak, and she get the pound of steak and they'll carry
Maybe in the wrong house.
Carry it, put them in the lorry and away to the company.
He must have been drunk there.
He must be drunk. He went home the wrong house for fuck's sake.
She'd take him home and make him a feed.
He
He's
wouldn't believe
I
it.
wouldn't believe I'll be charming.
Carmel, but he's had to be in the lorry.
You said Lily.
Did I?
Here, boy, he was a tight fella.
Oh, Tom.
We were drawing arms to him and me there for the same crowd.
Did you?
For King's, Jerry King.
Ah.
And he was coming up through the trap door one morning by in Waterford. Fuck, I was letting the roof stack down. But I thought, you know, you just, whenever it's all right again, you just let it go in the front. And just fuck Joe put his head up through by the bottom there. And he lay like that on the tail there, but he never moved for about 3 minutes. She come down with some slap on his head.
Good he didn't kill him.
Me and him and I were going to eat her and all too. I can eat too, but the Jesuit didn't buy. And me and him had 2 breakfasts in this place in Castlereagh. Such a feed we ate. And he wanted more.
I seen me and him go. I seen me going with him up to Galway. Can't mind the crowd that took lambs, and we're going to Ma. What the hell is this Ma somebody?
Ma Hubbard.
Ma Hubbard.
Ah, no.
Come down. And he grinned at all the 4 breakfasts. 4 big breakfasts. And they come down and they'd say, where's the 2 of us? Where's the 4? He says, here one. Back at me, you ate the 2 breakfasts.
Did you eat the 2?
I ate the 2, sure. He ate, I ate.
He was throwing lambs with a wee lorry that time.
That's right, yeah.
He's lucky he wasn't killed with a thing coming down on his head.
He was in a bad accident that time he didn't do it.
Oh, this wasn't a bad...
The mare and the windy caught his head or
Was
something.
he
didn't
alright
it?
when he come round?
He was in a bad smash somewhere in the car and the mare caught him with the back of the neck or something, going out through the window.
Give you some character.
This one was from our part of the country.
Only for the mare on the windscreen, it's caught him with the short going out through the window.
And held on to him.
But it
Stopped him
split
from the
his whole head down here. Carmel was in the car.
Head first, but
Carmel was in the car with him that night, wasn't she, Ma? Where was that?
They could have hit money out of that up and about the Dublin road somewhere.
what?
I met him by in the pub in Uri one time. He was in that cruisers.
I know it,
And he was in the cruisers and he was talking about a car, he got hit with a car on the road. And there was a man went to lift him, to put him in the back of a yoke, and he says when he was lifting to put him in the yoke, another fucking yoke coming along and what I'm doing. and whenever they were gathering them up, another yoke went out over the top and all. You want to hit this boy talking about. It's not right here, what was his name?
McManus, the horse.
But you're here a load ready for right away.
He had a whole load for the ambulance.
The lorry, the mare's minor hurt him at the last.
And then when the ambulance landed to put the ball in it, a fucking yoke come right in through the back of her.
Well, here, hey.
He was a strong man.
You know what he done? He told us one time. He said on top of the house, and he was on the drink at the time. And he says, there was a lovely saloon car down, and I jumped out on the way I went, and under a big lorry there.
My phone.
My yoke shade. And I saw the roof right after, and he said, on the way in the saloon, I come home in a racer.
It's good crack, wasn't it? Is he living or dead?
Oh, he's
Oh, he
dead.
died there like a year ago.
Did he?
Jesus Christ, you're far.
He's
He died a young man, only 72 or something.
He's up at his way.
That's when I met him in that cruisers.
He'd have been in there, huh?
He's a harness cutter.
A woman I minded that day.
Him and Patsy Finnegan was very great.
Oh,
They whooped in England together.
You're a bad cunt.
Your woman just ride out horses and that in that cruisers, you know what I mean? And that's why she...
Did the horse do something in a chippy one time? He fired the...
Put the
He
cat
put the
in.
cat in the fish fryer.
He did that.
He was sitting on the counter and it started to poke at his chips. And he just drew his...
Cats are in, but yeah, all the women in the place going to kill him.
John McCaffrey took the wig off. John McCaffrey used to run one of them sliding roofs. Did you know John?
I know Joe.
I knew him. He's probably a rare character, John, but...
He was so cracked. He threw it in the deep fat fryer in the Janor in the pipe.
He was related to them, wasn't he?
What? No, she... When I was...
There's a connection
She
somewhere.
was a half sister or something. Yeah, she's still living, that woman.
She must be a big age.
Is Joan living or dead? Is
She's
it?
dead. The story is. Yeah.
John, Spanish ancestry, had some relations born in Spain or something.
Well,
Him and the son played in the same team for Derry Lackey.
yeah. He's a tight fella.
He was.
He could have boxed.
You wouldn't hold that boy who was lived up the road we
Well,
wired
what his
for.
brother done, man? He
Wouldn't
got
hold that
inside,
boy we wired
John's
for.
bra.
McCaffrey.
he got inside the wheel of a lorry.
Out in Derrylack.
Down there, Lackey Hill.
Lived on over by
John's
Johnny
bra.
on away
I
and by
didn't
the
know John's bra.
postman.
Well, oh, those two, there was
Down
another
the
one that
lane.
was drowned.
In the lane up at the
There
top.
was, I
First
was
trainer.
round it there
Up
not
above.
too long ago.
It
Up
was down
above
outside the cove.
Kelly's.
Come out through the back door and walked
Up
into the
above
river.
Mickey Kelly.
Round Christmas.
Christmas
On
Eve
the
night.
hill.
On the
He's
left hand
McCaffrey.
side. He's
That's
McCaffrey.
the
Taxi driver.
That was
Yeah.
McCaffrey. That was
I know
McCaffrey.
my friend, he said.
Did you not walk out there too?
I forgot it.
That was McCaffrey.
Well, later to me too.
That's a broad this boy here we're talking about.
Well, I know
Who
that.
was he?
He does a bit of running.
The
And
boy out Derrylack, what do you call
Well, he had
it?
a heart attack.
You see, he was a good footballer.
Who, Joe?
Yeah. He was married to some connection of yours.
He's married to Britain.
That's right.
Burned at Britain.
Well, she's flying and she's 88.
Is she?
You want to see that woman?
She's seen her as
You'd have hit on your woman, other woman you'd have had now.
Well, yeah, that John.
You let yours go too quick.
That John McCaffrey was a good. Michael and Pat McCullough went to England when they were 16 or 17. Maybe 15 they would have been in England. But they were on the way up to London then. And we went to this Gresham this night, or this big
Gresham Ballroom.
Yeah. And the first man they met had two men pulling on him. Coming out through the door was two bouncers, trailing McCaffrey out. And they fired him out on the street. And he landed on his feet. And he went back in again for them. And he run right between one of their legs and lifted him up and out onto the street with him. As you asked Pat McCullough, he
Did he
might
give him
not
a
have
hate?
and he run round and rings through the crowd and people trying to buy tickets and for to get into and him with a boy on his head.
Well, he was a handy boy, he could have scrapped.
Oh, he was a great guy. He could have fought a man from here over
Well,
there.
him and his son played football for Derrylack.
You wouldn't have thought it about him. He said that old veterinary stuff.
That's Kevin.
Is that an abroad?
That's a different man.
He
didn't
know
that.
him now.
John was the fella, he started feeding stuff for rats.
How much of the boy was drowned in the cove?
Kevin.
Bravo.
That was
No,
Jimmy.
Jimmy, yeah.
Did you know him?
Yes.
Hello, my friend.
That's right.
I mean, you're talking about McManus there. Patsy and him, not a bra of hers. Spoke in England. And they got into an awful trouble this evening with the Chinese. And then the police come to arrest the two of them in the house.
How could we?
It was going to fucking wreck the place, and the police wrecked it, and Patsy and McManus wrecked it. And McManus lifts the clock this time, and he played whack at one of the police. And Patsy looked up and he seen the clock going past, and he says to McManus, "Time's flying." He says, "Time's flying, McManus." And they were getting up the battle of the two boys, McManus, he wouldn't come out without doing harm. He got into the stairs and he got a
Banister the stairs.
and he landed out onto the street with a banister round his neck.
And were they living in this house?
He come out with some big ones, didn't they?
Well, did the
I hear
rest...
them down there. They smash on the road.
Look, he didn't get time.
Oh, should you?
so maybe they
They
did.
didn't maybe get time for that.
They had a police.
Was there anything
car.
different?
Huh?
Maybe nothing different.
They had one.
Oh, no, it happened. This happened.
What would have...
Yes.
That John McCullough, he got into that pot, pot.
Yes, yes.
You don't know the brother John. You
No,
didn't meet him yet.
no, I didn't meet him yet.
You'd see him in all day. We heard he was home a lot of weeks ago. He's a far bigger man than Pat.
Pat,
But he could box. But he fell out with Chinese men too. And beat them up and done a whole lot of things. But they were staying in this wee apartment in London somewhere. And the Chinese gathered up on him this evening because he wouldn't pay them or whatever. But they give him a bit of a refund. You know, bit of a bottom. And him and this John, and I tell you who he was. They used to have the chip on in the pint.
Knox, Bobby,
You lost Bobby.
Yeah.
And him and Bobby was walking up the street after drinking a feed of pints. And the place they were staying in, the toilet was away down in the cellar. And Bobby says to Pat, or to John, he says, "We're not going to have a piss before you go up the night to the house." He never answered him. And Bobby pissed away again the wall, again a wall. And John didn't bother. But they went up the house. But John had his own method. You know them popcorns you get in the Chinese? You know them bags? Rice and all. Fucking John pissed on it. In the big fucking bag by 100 weight of it. Fuck, he did. Bobby turned me. Bobby, he says he pissed in the big bag of rice, he says.
So we're all recruits.
The Chinese must have found out about it. And Jesus didn't they come in this night, boy. and they come out with all sorts of bars
Ah.
and all sorts of things. And the other poor man was innocent. He never ventured, he never showed out on the street for 14 days.
Bobby.
They give them that much of a hand. McCullough could get up in a ball. He tried his best with him. But they give them an offer doing over. And poor Bobby got a doing over and he done nothing. But Bobby told me, he said, when McCullough got himself straightened up, he says he took them out over counters and he fired them against walls and he done everything with it. He count gravy boxes and all. And they were Chinese sitting up. But
Oh, so McManus choked one of them on the door.
He told his neck in the
The neck.
pulled it over the boy put his head out and McManus pulled the door on him and somebody else
He
bought it
didn't
away.
kill him.
But then they done that on McManus
They had
one.
him in a meat cleaver.
Oh, they had him with the meat cleaver.
McManus' head in the door.
Ah.
And he says the him, I attended one day McManus was listening.
Who's going to put his
But I did on, I didn't know McManus there. And I said,
Right.
but here's McManus to throw his head in the door. And says, our father told me one time that the Chinese took at McManus, the runaway was the wall they were hitting on McManus' head, but the sparks were there. McManus says, it was there.
And he had a hole in his head, you want to see him show it.
I said, I didn't know whether the thing hitting the wall, the sparks or McManus' head. It was there.
Sparks coming out
And
of
a
his
big
head.
dent in his head there.
I mean, it never happened at all.
Yes, it happened.
Would McManus were all recruit. I made him come and get horses shod with my dad when I was a wee buck.
Yes.
He used to tell me down in the bar, but I went to your house and you were only going to school.
Oh,
Is that right?
He was take by.
Oh, yes, you're a bit
Well, John McCaffrey was a brother. He lived on the top of Derlacky Hill.
yes, yes.
I didn't
He used,
know him.
he used to
That's the
unfancy.
boy we wired.
Ah. He's a rich.
He was like a black man.
Yes,
Ah.
yes.
With a black moustache on him.
Foreign.
Just for
No,
McManus.
no, a fucking those Spanish ancestry.
Wasn't that where McManus talked about the horse?
Ah.
Remember the horse was the next thing?
Is that a son of his?
Somebody was getting into the field. And he seen a horse in the forest.
McManus was walking with us. at the
McManus
time.
was into the field before him.
Oh, he's walking with you.
Yes.
Aye, and McManus was. And Joe Rowe seen this big horse trotting up, and I'm not going into that field. He says, I'm afraid of a horse. Well, said, I give a witness for the two of them. McManus was all around the field a bit fast.
And what he said?
And him eating spuds out of an onion bag. He was in
And then with powder
that.
taste and powder butter.
And the butter, my
Oh.
Is that what he took them up with?
No, oh fuck
They were
no.
cow
the
spuds.
Oh,
spuds.
lovely boys, bud.
Lovely. Jeez, were lovely.
And the skin's hanging off, and a powder butter.
Fucking
Powder
Every spud, every
cow
spud he
sausages and cow bacon and every
split,
fucking
he
thing.
split the spud, and he put a big slice
Slice
of
of butter.
into it.
That would be nice.
Into the hook. We ate them too.
So we were hitting fucking thing, a bag of them. A big onion bag of them.
Perfect.
He'd buy the pot of spuds that night before. Oh, the
Oh, he was a
fucking...
tight one.
Oh,
So did he just up there or what?
He was ill for a while, wasn't he?
He was in a heap of fucking tablets. He's diabetic too.
He was a powerful dancer, that McCaffrey.
Ah, yeah.
He got to dance two women at the one time.
Well, he could have javed.
Once he had one.
But I'm telling you, he had Spanish
Well, he
ancestry.
couldn't have danced if he'd have been about to take that hard thing. But he couldn't have thrown that away.
Because the leg would have fed
Yeah,
out.
but you see the way they're spinning them. They're spinning them that way. Oh, everything's done anti-clockwise dancing.
Yeah. McCaffrey had Spanish ancestry.
I don't
I
know
mean,
why.
them telling
Is,
me.
is that a son of his that does the taxi driving and he's running all the time?
That's right.
He's a son who was a big shot in the down